Did you hear the story today about the church that had protesters outside of it? And the people couldn't get into the church, the congregants, so they ended up closing down services for the day? Or the man that was at Walmart passing out tracts and spreading the word of Jesus and ended up getting fined and arrested? Yeah, I didn't hear them stories either because it's not true. And Christians want to say that they're the most persecuted people in this country. They're not allowed to express their views, not allowed to live the lives like they want to live them, live the sensibilities that they see fit. But yet there's other people being persecuted in this country, indirectly by them or directly by them. An example we had today was Candy was on her Facebook and saw an interaction between two Christians that she knows. And the original start of this was a story or a post or something about a trans male is a teacher, and he was wondering, how do I want my students to refer to me? They're young students, like first or second grade. Do you want to refer to me as Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so? Because the issue is that his physical traits are more feminine still, but he identifies as a man. So he was concerned about the children, and probably concerned about what the children and the parents are going to say, not knowing their affiliation and how they're brought up and how they're going to react to this. He is worried probably about keeping his job because there's a real threat that people are going to come after him, that he's trying to do just indoctrinate the children. And we don't need this going on. We can't have this. This is insensible. And in the comments following this story, one of the comments came back was, no wonder kids are so messed up today. And we know the person that said this comment. We know this person's kids very well. And it's like, what are you talking about? Your kids are grown up, well-adjusted, fit in society just great. Do well, better than you even. What kids are you talking about? I guarantee these Christians that are worried about the kids and worried about how they're going to be affected by this have never once had their kids meet someone that was transgender or gay or anything that affected their lives and really confused them and messed them up and made them question reality in general. But they hear news stories and take that as their own reality. Perceived stories more than likely made up or exaggerated to push a narrative. And this gentleman that's a teacher has to worry about this stuff and has to worry about it to keep his job, keep his livelihood, and worry about real world harm being done to him because of who he is. That's true persecution. And in your defense of you being persecuted because your kids are getting messed up and getting confused, you ended up persecuting this other person. There is no persecution that you suffer. I drove down our holy highway this week. We have a road in our town that has a 10-mile stretch that has churches every other block on it. There's probably 50 churches in this stretch. And they all had cars in them. And everyone walked in easily with no confrontation, no ill will put against them, and they had their worship service and walked out to their cars. Nothing happened to their cars in their parking lots. Nothing was said to them entering or exiting the church, and nothing was ever done to them. They freely were able to go out and practice their faith. They went out to restaurants afterwards, said prayers in open public, and no one said anything to them. No one stopped them from doing this. They probably had a few of them that went out and started spreading their message to strangers in the world, and no one stopped them. People may not have listened. People may have laughed at them. People may have questioned them and debated them. That's not persecution. That's living with an opinion that you hold, trying to share it with someone else that might have a different opinion. That's debate. That's life. That's just how things work. Not everyone's going to agree with you. But when you start forcing everyone or wanting the will of yourself to be imposed on everyone else, that is your persecution. When you make up stories that cause other people issues in their own life on how they can live, how they can provide for themselves, how they can just exist in this world, your made-up persecutions are now being persecutions on someone else. No one in this country is preventing Christians from spreading their faith. No one's spreading. The only people that are preventing people from spreading faith in this country are Christians. They would get upset if a Muslim were to say a prayer in an open government building. They would go apeshit if a satanic temple put up a display in a Capitol building. Look back at Iowa this last year. Because they can't hold their faith can't hold up against questioning and debate. It's weak, just like they are, and they're not persecuted. People just don't agree with you. People just don't like you. People just see who you are from the actions that you are and don't want anything with the belief system that you have, because your beliefs are turning you into an asshole. And people don't want to be assholes. That's not persecution. That's a choice for them to be a decent human being.